There's Lazar Dukic's GoFundMe page.
Fuck it. Let's get it to $150,000. Why is it at $30K?
Word.
Yeah, it's already way past that, but
Word. I'll
Keep that
donate.
rolling.
I'll donate 100 right now.
Run it up.
Where do I get the link?
Refresh it. See. Oh, there you go.
What's it?
it's 46,000. Cool,
Yeah.
that's good.
Let me,
Especially with stuff like this, people were saying earlier, like the GoFundMe and like it doesn't change stuff. But when stuff like this happens, if the family has resources like this, it just alleviates one stress away
Massive
from them
stress.
when they're dealing with so much right now. And so being able to give just a couple bucks and know that will, in some small amount, help his family in this time is important.
He was such
Excuse
a cool
me.
dude.
Yeah.
He's honest, always in the comments. I mean, and this is just in our small sphere, but I didn't know him very well, but he was always just making jokes, talking shit, a funny dude, super laid back, didn't take himself too seriously.
No.
That's the kind of person you want to be around. You can be at ease with a person like that. You don't have to walk on eggshells. They're just a cool fucking person to be around.
Yeah. It was, I saw him this morning as they were actually getting ready to line up, and he came over and he gave me and Pedro a fist pound. And he goes, "Oh, what's up, guys?" And we said, "What's up?" He goes, "I like you too. John Young, not so much," and starts laughing and walks away.
Yeah,
and,
fuck John Young.
That's how he is. He approached us, and the athletes like that, especially in that setting, are rare because typically they're all in their own heads and stuff like that. And I think Sevon said he was kind of like a beam of light, and that was true. I mean, even in the footage that I have from him, the very little bit from this morning, yeah, you could tell he was fired up. He's excited to be there, and it's a good dude.
He did an interview with Brian Friend a couple days ago, and then this morning we got to the venue pretty early, before 6 a.m. Media was all the athletes were warming up in the dark. All you could see silhouettes. You couldn't see who was who. They were warming up in a parking lot about 50 feet from the water's edge, 100 feet from the water's edge. And as the light came on, I could start seeing them. And then at 6:30, they started lining the athletes up to get them to the start line for 7 a.m. And I don't know, probably at 6, I don't know, really close to the beginning. I interviewed him, just standing style, holding the camera in his face. He was smiling. He was loving on me. He was being warm, looking right into my eyes. He was smiling ear to ear. He was telling me how nervous he is. He had told me a few days before that he had intentions of winning this event. He told me he was great in the water. He said he had 10 years of experience in the water. I think that was with water polo. And then it was 3, 2, 1, go. And all the dudes took off, and the girls were behind them. And quickly there were 2 or 3 dudes in the front, and then Tia was up in the front too, I think, with the dudes. And then we all waited as they circled the lake and watched on YouTube like the rest of you guys. And the media, we're always trying to get closer than we're supposed to be, and we're trying to push up to the front where the water is. And we had heard that Adler had gotten in the water first. I don't know if that's true.
He did. Me and JR and Bryson stayed home to watch from the stream, and Adler obliterated everyone. Lost 20 seconds on his transition, and Ricky caught up to him. But it was Adler by a mile, Ricky right behind him, and then that group of Yellow Hoste, Lazar, and one other guy. I don't know who the third guy was. I can't remember. Sprague maybe, or Brent.
I think it was the South African dude.
It was Ruan, Yella, and Lazar.
Okay.
So it was Jeff, Ricky, Ruan, Lazar, Yella Hosta.
So then about that famous orange buoy where Lazar went down, that was probably, I don't know, the 1/3 or 1/2 mark of where we could see from the shore of the athletes coming around the corner in the water. So basically when they appeared, they kind of came out behind some, I don't know what you call it, reeds, like those cattails,
reeds.
And we saw someone come out from around the corner first, and then that orange buoy was probably the halfway point, and then there was the ramp. I mean, they were in the home stretch. And we saw Yellow Hosta come in, and he was fucking pumped, and he came out of the water. and we're filming them, and you can't tell who's who in the water.
No, you can't really tell anything. And I know some people are asking, like, why didn't people say this or do that? And like, you guys all have to realize we were all staring at that and had our cameras pointed and didn't even notice it.
Yeah, there's 100 people with footage of the
On-
drowning for sure.
Yeah.
On the stream, though, it was so clear that he was struggling, even from like the halfway point of the swim. Because I remember saying this to Bryson.
You mean even before he came into sight?
way before? I was
oh.
like, dude, he's swimming freestyle for like 30 seconds and then stopping and doing breaststroke for like 20 seconds. Remember me saying that?
But
And
how did you know it was him? Did they tell you?
No, he didn't have a swim cap on. He could pull his head out of the water on the live stream. You could tell it was Lazar.
Lazar Dukic.
He was
okay.
taking these big breaths. It was like freestyle for 30 seconds hard. What it looked like he was slapping the water,
Mhm.
and then he would stop, and it was just like he was bobbing up and down in the water trying to catch his breath. And I was like, that's weird. I thought he was good in the water. Why is he swimming freestyle for 30 seconds and then catching his breath?
Yeah.
I thought it was super weird. You remember that?
So you could basically see Yellow Hosta come in, and then behind him, some way away, but within sight of all of us, there were maybe 3 to 5 other athletes, and everyone was getting really amped up. And I think I remember seeing 2 paddle boards out there, and the orange buoy, and I want to say there was a boat.
And how far was that from the
Dude, it's like 25 meters
from the ramp, from the finish line?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
from the ramp.
From shore.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
shore.
from shore.
And hundreds of people watching.
Yeah.
Maybe 1,000 people. And so then there was some chaos, right? Because it got really exciting. There were 2 things that happened. Tia came in like maybe 2nd or 3rd overall. So the place fucking erupted and went crazy. But then there was also this other incident. So if we were standing here and the swimmers were 25 meters out here by the orange buoy, over here, maybe 100 yards away, someone jumped in the water,
Mm-hmm.
and they were swimming with ferocity, and they were pointing,
Fully clothed.
Fully
clothed.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if I heard it or someone told me, but they're like, hey, that guy is saying he saw someone go under.
Yeah, it was strange because a bunch of people on the dock were yelling, "A fan's in the water! A fan's in the water!" And when I looked over, and
Yeah,
I
the security was
filmed
yelling
it,
that we have a fan in the water. We have a fan in the water.
yeah, and then I was
I could
like,
hear it
"That's
over
so weird."
radios and shit or whatever. I could hear people saying it. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was radios, but I could hear people, like all the staff running the event, saying that. And so at that point, he stopped about halfway to the orange buoy, or 1/3 of the way to the orange buoy from the opposite side we were on. And I don't know what exchange he had with the lifeguard, but maybe at that moment when the paddleboard person was talking to him, when the paddleboard person was talking to him, maybe she took her eyes off of
That's what I was thinking. too.
Lazar.
No, I don't think that, dude. And I'm going to be afraid to say it here, and I'm not getting crazy, but on the stream, he's struggling for minutes. It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
of
but
him
you have
bobbing
an overhead drone shot, dude. You got to think about it. We're looking down at the angle at the water like this. The
But
perspective is so different.
It's not a different perspective when everyone is on the water level and you're standing on a paddleboard.
When I was in the kayak next to you and Jason, though, like I couldn't have told, like until I got right up next to you, I didn't know if it was you or Jason. I only figured it was you because you were ahead.
And also, too, they should, you would assume they're trained on some of those signals. And at the same time, we've had lots of swimming events at the games, and we've seen people struggle, and they usually have an escort, and they go to the backstroke, and they do their whole thing, right? But
he was
typically they're
struggling. He was struggling for so long on the stream. It's like his head's underwater, his head's above water, underwater, above. I just don't understand how.
I spoke to someone who was on that side, and they said that he was with a crew of like 15 people. And they were screaming, drowning. Like they were yelling that they were yelling that,
Yeah.
They were supposedly yelling that. I did not hear that, but I spoke to someone who said that they saw him go under and that they were tripping. Their mind started playing tricks on him because the lifeguard was there. And they were like, did I fucking really see that? Did I really see that? But he said there were like 15 people there being like, yo, someone just went under. And what's crazy is there were probably, like I said, 100, like we're looking through cameras. And so when I look at my footage now, I can see it. But at the time, I didn't see it at all. I was focused on Yellow Hosta. I was focused. Yeah, it was definitely. And then I was also told he started swimming in circles. And I didn't know what that meant until I looked at the footage. But basically, he was spinning.
Right. It's so surreal. And the last person you would expect is someone who's so fucking good in the water.
So a couple things I do. But by the way, that's his GoFundMe page there. We'll refresh it. I just dropped him $100. A couple things worth noting is that he was a water polo player, and he's very experienced in the water. And it makes me question like what happened, because if it was really like a drowning, he knows how not to go underwater, right? He knows to turn to his back and float.
Well, like one of the comments even said, like as polo players, that's all we're doing is just fighting off other players trying to hold us down under the water, right? So like that's not, a panic to him. He's comfortable there.
And we know Lazar Dukic had a serious event in Dubai when he was
a heart attack, the Burj Khalifa. They were doing the Burj run.
Yeah. Was that ever considered? Was that ever called a heart attack?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even remember that. So
basically, he doesn't remember coming up like the last 20 flights of stairs. And when he came, people said that he was crawling on the stairs, and then when he got up to the top, he looked like death. And I don't think that was his first one. I was asking around. I feel like there was another event that happened before that. So,
so look at this comment. DeRoy says, let me pull this up. I'm not. Somebody confirm. DeRoy says you need a 5-to-1 swimmer to lifeguard ratio. Is that five swimmers to 1 lifeguard?
That's what Buds does.
Well, I'll tell you this:
5-to-1.
But I'll tell you this:
5 people, 1 lifeguard.
And how many? Do we know how many?
In that section, it was at least in that section there were at least 5-to-1. I couldn't see the course. I can't speak for the course, but there weren't 10 people there.
At that point in time.
Yeah. I mean, most 10. I mean, I would say, there were not a lot of people there.
Okay, I think at the point in time where he drowned, that you can see him go under, and on the live stream, I'm sure the footage is going to just be everywhere at some point when it's an open investigation. I'm sure when the investigation's closed, the footage is going to be everywhere. You can see him go under.
Yeah, you can see him go under. Everyone's got it on their cameras now that everyone's playing back their shit.
It's so fucked. Yeah. And you're right. Yellow Host Day is across. Brent and Tia are across, and then there's 2 other people in the water, and then it's Lazar in front of that orange buoy.
Yes.
And then people farther back.
Right. And then maybe 1 or 2 people passed him. But right in that area where he was at, I'm making the assumption that the people on the paddleboard were lifeguards. I don't know that, but I'm making that assumption. But I do know that there was a lot going on. Maybe the people on the paddleboards were looking up at the ramp because the crowd went crazy. Maybe they were celebrating Tia's finish. Maybe they were dealing with trying to figure out, if you're on that board and you think that that's a fan that's doing something wrong, you're also supposed to protect the athletes, right? But I also heard that guy did tell her, hey, I saw someone go under. And that then she paddled over there. But I'm
doing my best to keep a lid on how I just want to go. Like, I'm not going to pretend to be the most emotionally mature person. I feel like I have good emotional awareness, but when something like happens, I get angry, and I just feel angry, and I just want to fucking lash out.
Yeah. There were people crying everywhere. There were people shaking. It was super duper intense.
Yeah, and if you ever
for a long time, we were there by the water for over an hour, and it only got more and more intense.
We're hearing that was a member of the Medeiros family. Of course, it was good people. They were on that.
They were on the dock for sure, but I don't know if they were.
They were on the dock or they were off to the side.
No,
well, he brings a big posse.
Yeah, so I know them, and I saw them on the dock. And when they had said
they made it onto the dock.
Fans in the water, not the finish line dock. There was a second one where the guy jumped in on. Right, so the finish line is here. The barricades were here. There was this little water down space that had a small dock that spectators were standing on.
Tony, I just want to pull this up. Has anyone checked on his brother? To be honest, I don't think now is the time to flood him with, hey, hope you're okay. I just don't think that.
I will tell you this, that a handful of us very quickly, when it was reported, so basically the report came like this. Hey, and there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to share with you guys, but the report is, hey, where's Lazar? And someone's like, oh, he hasn't come in yet. We haven't seen him. And then someone said, no, I just saw him 25 meters from the dock. And when he said that, I made eye contact with Luca. I was right next to him, and we both beelined. I think Luca went to the ice buckets, and I went to where they were putting on their socks and shoes. And the first person I asked was Yellow Hosta, "Hey, did you see Lazar?" And then he went to the ice buckets, and we started searching for him like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because right away the emotion ramped up. I mean, it was crazy. All I could think about the whole time are his parents there.
Do you think if you're an athlete swimming by that, you even notice? I don't think you notice.
No, they didn't. I spoke to the
way.
athletes. They basically said they didn't know what was going on. They basically said because the sun had just come up.
Yeah, you're in a. Oh, they said at the beginning of the stream is the direction they were swimming was right into the rising sun.
Yeah, and so every
it was.
athlete I spoke to said you couldn't see anything. You were basically just like following the person in front of you, and that you were just hoping you were going the right way. And that and it was also at the end of a really ferocious race, right?
Yeah.
I did look up triathlete deaths in like in 2024. Every single triathlete death was from swimming.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have an uncommon. This isn't uncommon. Can you pull that up?
Yeah. Well, I want to pull this comment. It says the past lifeguard and this is what I noticed and why we were watching him on the stream and why I was like, what the fuck is going on? Tammy Elite Feet. As a past lifeguard and triathlete, have also been the paddleboarder during races. Someone is not progressing and has taken off his cap and goggles. They are in big trouble. Lake's so hot. The lake was hot for sure. When me and Jason tested that, we tested it a month ago. That was the worst part.
So a couple things. I don't. The footage I think I saw, he had his goggles on.
He had his goggles on, but he had his cap off.
But a bunch of, I think a handful of athletes lost their caps.
Even on the run, athletes lost some of their caps.
But appreciate the insight. What I'm curious about is also like there has to be a protocol, right? I'm guessing like you have a 5-step checklist. Every athlete you see, like you're on that paddleboard, you look at an athlete, you're like I don't know what they are, but ass out of water, consistent strokes. You move to the next one. You know what I mean? There has to be some
order to the way you're watching it, what you're looking out for, and how the whole thing goes.
Tom, peace. I leave you. Peace, I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give you. I can't do that.
I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John 14:27.
You guys, it was so intense.
Yeah.
Everyone was freaking out.
Oh man,
you guys, maybe he didn't get a lot of the most camera time as other people, but everyone knew Lazar. Like everyone knew him. He was the coolest dude. I'm not just saying that. Like he was the guy. He always came over to the camera guys. All the other athletes loved him. He was he was a rising star. His brother was there. Him and his brother were so close. Everyone knew his fiance or wife. Like everyone knew her. She was cool as shit. She was like, they were like perfect. They were cool. They're the kind of athletes that made the
dude, he'd be in this chat typically.
Yeah, they were the athletes that made it fun. You know what I mean? He had a Josh Bridges type.
And there's not many of them in the field today, which sucks.
And he would chop it up with anyone. Those guys like Pat Vellner and Fikowski and those guys, all those guys loved Lazar.
And the one thing I will say is being as close to it as we were, especially as people were starting to say like, hey, where is he? Why didn't he come across? He was in second. There was a lot of swift action by the team. Like nobody at any point did not take that very seriously and didn't immediately start looking into the situation. And from my vantage point, from what I saw, the second Dave and Chuck were alerted about the situation, they took it very seriously, and everybody else was mobilized on the information they had, and protocols were in place.
Dave jumped into crazy action. The problem was though it took so long to like
figure out what the hell was even going on.
No, just to realize that he was missing.
Right.
Like soon as they knew he was missing, the whole fucking operation came to a stop. Yep. But the fact is he'd already been missing a long time.
A long fucking
time. And if you guys remember, wasn't there some woman on a team like years back that went missing and they couldn't find her and they found out she was just like upset about her performance and like just went home?
Yeah, at
Wodapalooza.
Wodapalooza, they thought they lost.
Wodapalooza.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. And so immediately you're kind of thinking like that situation, like, did he swallow too much water? Is he sick? Is he just maybe in a porta potty? Like what's going on?
Hey, dude, no one's blaming CrossFit. No one's sitting here blaming. I mean,
I think he was talking about the comments.
Oh.
I don't think he was talking about us.
I definitely have my speculations on what happened. I'll wait.
I think a few people in the comments also.
Also, you know, I'm not.
Can I see that comment from Lindsay McKnight? Oh,
Lindsay?
just the red one. Just what did she say? Anything?
It's just a super sticker.
Oh, hi Lindsay. Thank you. That's his GoFundMe page. It'd be great to get that thing just fucking booming. If everyone could just drop $100 in there, it's easy. It's so easy just to give $100 and forget about it. So one of the topics we were talking about is should they continue?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what my understanding of what Souza said, and then he can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But we were like, some of us were like, no, they shouldn't go on. It's over. And Souza was like, hey man, it needs to go on because that's part of the healing process, and we have to leave here. We not healed, but with some closure.
And at the same time, I think the more distance where everybody's kind of siloed right now, and what I mean by everybody's like the athletes, the community, everybody who came to watch the event, I think the quicker you push all those people back into the same the same area, I think that does help everybody just process it. And as hard as it is, and as hard as a decision it is to make, right now the inevitable has happened, and nothing we're going to do is going to change that. And so I think the best way to heal everything is to bring the community together and continue on with the event starting tomorrow morning.
There was I'd be curious what you guys think. Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Taylor?
I was just saying that me and Bryson were driving here Wednesday. We drove from Charlotte to Fort Worth. I think it was like we left at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard. We got here at midnight Central. So 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. essentially. It's like, what is that? 19 hours, 18 hours in the car. And at one point we were driving and I was like, dude, imagine how many people we have driven past who all have this same sphere of life where like they're the most important person in their life. The world is, I'm not saying people are selfish, but the world is all about you. Like you are existing in your world. And now multiply that by 8 billion people. It's just crazy to me to think like, I don't know, just kind of primordial questions of like, the philosophical side of importance of life,
right?
Importance of, what to do next. Like, and I think more than anything is people fucking die every day. It's really sucks to see it in such an unexpected, horrible
tragic way too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like
in the middle of a celebration.
In the middle of a celebration. Yeah. But to what you're saying, initially I was like, there's no way they can continue the fucking weekend after this guy dies in the first workout. But
right.
It would seem, I mean, the way you honor life the most is by living it, not by halting everything and stopping it.
I don't want to do it. I want to go home and be with my family.
Right.
But I do think Souza's right.
And I think some of the athletes may choose to do that, but I think having unfortunately dealing with tragedy in my life a couple of times, at least for me on a personal level, it was always best to get around people that you like to be around, that cheer you up. And I think that's what would happen with Vendor Village and the CrossFit community. I think the tone would be different. Obviously it'd be dimmed a little bit, but I do think in order for the CrossFit Games, those athletes, and as a whole for the community to continue on is that's what we should do.
Well, I can't see it.
Don't worry about it. Then I don't want to pull it up.
Let me just read it. Let me just read it.
Yeah.
This one
and the one below it.
Oh yeah, they will. That you can.
I can pull that first comment up.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Okay.
Oh no, that's the. Let's go. Yeah, you can pull that up. That's just dumb. Someone wrote, "Run, swim, idiotic. Castro might be a SEAL. These guys are not. Everyone knows you never do a swim." That's not true at all.
Well, with the mass start, it's actually better to have the run because all those athletes are going to separate quite a bit. So the getting into the water is actually safer under those conditions because they're coming in very slowly, tired, transitioning into the water, as opposed to a mass start into the water, which we also have seen before, and those tend to be a little more chaotic. And so
that's not true. That's not true at all. And let me tell you something. These guys are is
they're
capable.
The best fucking athletes in the world. They're more capable than half the fucking SEALs in the country.
Yeah, all the SEALs in the country. The SEALs have special. You can't put that on Dave or misunderstanding their abilities. Just so you know, I spoke to Lazar yesterday, and I spoke to him today a bunch. But then when I spoke to him yesterday, he said that, him and Luca had already done the swim. He's like, oh, we already did the event. He had already done the event.
Yellow Hosta did it here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he knew he was capable. And someone said, will they do an autopsy? Yeah, they'll do an autopsy.
Yeah, I think somebody else put in the comments, and I don't know if this is true, but like in Texas, everything's treated as a homicide until otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a blue one you passed.
Okay.
You go to the starred ones and see them too, to the right.
Tell me the vid shot didn't have something in this. Tell me.
Oh, stop.
What does that mean? I don't even get it.
Tell me the vid shot didn't have something to do with this.
Miss Ridow, new member, thank you. So there was a couple other things I wanted to bring up. Go ahead.
I don't know. To go back to there are huge competitions worldwide. The other thing is,
you cannot boil this down to the programming. And I'm sorry I'm going to get a little pissed off here, but you guys, there are so many different circumstances. And even people are in the comments saying like, hey, you have to wait until more information comes out. That is absolutely true. We do not have everything. You have a 10-year water polo player at the highest fucking level.
Mm-hmm.
Went down right at the end of this. So to sit here and say it shouldn't have been a run or the order should have switched or you shouldn't have it, stop.
Yeah, can you bring up the John George comment?
If there's any judgment that I'm going to pass for having all the facts, it's just from what I saw with my own fucking eyes on the live stream. So I kind of get annoyed by that comment too. Like, hey, I'm sick of, and this is it's going on everywhere in the country. You're being told, hey, just ignore what's right in front of your fucking face and let the experts tell you what happened when there's proof right in front of you of what happened. So
nothing to see here, folks.
All I have to say is, don't tell me not to pass judgment on what you can see with your own eyes.
Sevon, I feel horrible for all involved, including Dave. Yeah, I have not spoke to Dave. I have not spoke to anyone at CrossFit HQ. I am personally...
He's probably fucked up.
Devastated for Dave. He's serious as a heart attack. He takes all of this stuff so seriously. It's a complete... I can't tell you. I've said it before a million times. He's a professional at the highest level of any person I've met. He's an amazing leader. He's been a great mentor to tons of people.
When I was at the ranch and I got hurt, he more than anyone else there was really attentive. Like, hey, are you okay? Kept on asking me, and made fun of me a ton after the fact. But that was after he knew I was okay.
Yeah.
But when I was there, there were a lot of people there, and I felt more than anyone that he actually cared and was like bummed out.
Yeah.
Bummed.
Yeah. I think more than ever this year, Dave had truly fallen in love with the athletes and the event. I think it was a climax for him this year. After doing all the interviews, after being fired, after coming back, this was his first games. He took control of the programming. He basically, through his words of his experiences with interviewing the athletes, he had become a softer, changed man, more intimate with the athletes, and he was actually liking it. And I know he really respected the Dukic brothers. So I have nothing but great things to say about Dave. And it's not only Dave too. I mean, there were the other guys out there. I don't know if they want their names out there, but there's some other people who are so involved, and they must be just devastated. I wonder how that girl's doing on the lifeguard who's on the paddleboard.
Yeah.
She must be fucking. She needs to be put on like suicide watch, probably.
KF, I feel like if Tia died, everyone would be blaming CrossFit. Weird how y'all are coddling CrossFit. First off, I think, well, what somebody said was the 5-to-1 lifeguard ratio. And if that's true and that's standard protocol, they 100% were doing that because there were not 10 people in the water between those two presumed lifeguards.
Right.
So, and look, I said 20 minutes ago, I'm not the most, I would say I have great emotional awareness, but I'm not good at putting a lid on it. I can be a wild card. And I would say, look, if I'm passing judgment, which I'm not saying is the right thing to do, it's probably really fucking wrong. If there's anyone I'm going to be angry at, it's the two fucking people on paddleboards. And look, I'm not saying that's rational, but to me, I'm watching the live stream like he's fucking drowning.
I mean, it's their job. It's their job.
Right.
Yeah.
They were hired to be out there to be the lifeguards.
And I totally get you've got Tia and Brent swimming past you, and you're like, holy shit. And like maybe not.
And you got the fan coming in from the side.
So like, but.
And you got people screaming, saying, "Hey, we have someone drowning." The coddling thing is just a weird. What do you? I'm just curious.
Fuck you, KF. That's all.
I don't. What do you want us to say? What do you want us to say? That like they should have drained the lake and made it a run through a crater?
I mean, I'm like being, I don't know. Like,
look up
angry.
triathlete drownings. By the way, they got a wiki page on it. I was over there looking at it. You don't have to do it, Bryson, but
look it up.
I was looking at it. It's like there's every year. I want to say in 2023 there were 23 there. It's all swimming.
And I'm pissed off. So what I'm saying is I'm not sitting here saying CrossFit's not at all at fault. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying those two people on paddleboards aren't at fault. I'm just saying that.
Hey, the person, by the way, KF, you are kind of a douche. I'm gonna have to. You're a fucking moron because who died doesn't matter. For you to think that it would matter if it was Tia,
yeah, that's true,
or Lazar, you're a scumbag.
Yeah, and just to put a cap on this, the reason I'm trying to be more reserved is we got fucking however many people watching. Not a lot of people are reporting on this live. I don't want to rally the whole crowd against someone who is actually not their fault at all. And it's all to say, fuck. I mean, we have no idea what happened to him in the water. I mean, right. You would hope the people whose job it was to fucking safeguard your life do it.
But I don't think I'll tell you what I don't think. I don't think he panicked and drowned. I don't think
it was too long. It was happening for too long of a period.
I think something happened to him, and he drowned because of it. I don't think he didn't drown like the way a 2-year-old drowns.
Right.
He can't swim. There was nothing like that. There was something that caused him to drown.
Look at those, dude. Police believe he had a heart attack. 2 minutes unresponsive for a yard, requiring medical
heart attack,
collapse after the.
Well, let me put this out.
Yeah.
He got into the water.
Sudden death, multiple organs.
Yeah, anytime
arrest.
you see sudden death, that's heart attack.
Listen, he got into the water. He entered the water in like 6th place, minutes behind Jeff Adler. And right before the finish line, he was in 2nd. So while everyone is running hard and recovering in the water, I'm imagining Lazar getting in the water and stomping on the fucking gas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying he's an idiot for doing that, but I'm saying
that's what he's supposed to do.
Well, what I'm saying is while everyone else is getting in the water and they're like, all right, my heart rate needs to come down, he's getting in the water thinking 10 years water polo experience, 10 years in the water.
I did the race 2 days ago.
I'm making my fucking move. I'm stomping on it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's heart rate's coming down. His is pumping. And then he gets to a point where he's like, holy shit, I can't get my heart rate down. down. I take a couple breaths, breaststroking. Okay, go back to freestyle. It's plummeting through the ceiling to the roof again. Take a couple breaststrokes. Like that's what you saw on the live stream. So to me, it just seemed like
he wasn't tangled in fishing line or alligator didn't drag him in or
it wasn't that he couldn't swim.
Yeah.
It's not that he couldn't swim. Like
right.
the notion that now I'm even playing this out of my brain. The notion that he just died from drowning is ridiculous. There's no fucking he's right next to the shore. If I don't give a fuck what's happening to me. If I'm in good bodily health and I'm 25 yards from the shore, dude, he's a better swimmer than it. I would only stand a reason that something happened. Fuck.
If someone snatching 300 pounds drops the bar and breaks their neck, do we have snatching?
That is a terrible comparison.
Yeah, Andrew Sten, the 5-to-1 ratio is ratio of athletes to lifeguard. From what we've heard in the comments, this is not official protocol that we're reciting, but people have said that that's pretty standard protocol. Yeah.
Let me read that one from Drake Webster.
Yeah, that's a good comment.
It doesn't matter if it was fitness or cardiac issue. or whatever, if the safety personnel had been able to catch this or at least been close, they would have had a chance to administer safety procedure.
That's true.
Very well said.
Here the crazy part is they were extremely close.
Yeah,
that's the fucked up. That's what I'm most angry about. That's what I'm trying to hold back is they were right fucking next to him, and he was in front of the buoy, right at the boat ramp, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, KF, dude, stop. It's
How about what YouTube user wrote? I disagree with this too. It could have been a leg cramp. No. 10 years water polo player. He would have been fine. He knows.
He could tread water with his dick, dude. He's got a freaking.
Colin Lawrence even said it. He was like, I played water polo. He's like, we cramped all the time. We rolled to our backs. We stretched out. We catch our breath. We move on.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have been.
This isn't a normal guy.
Yeah. You guys have to realize, like,
he was
safety first.
At the fucking games.
Well, people
he won European championships. I mean,
this would have been
freak.
the dude to swim out to save your ass.
Right.
Like that.
While he's cramping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a bad take. Can I see that one that says grief? By the way, please
fuck me up.
That one was harsh.
The comment, no, it's a true comment.
Who's it by?
Can I see it?
It's scroll up. It's by Jared Kalis.
It's blue.
You're having him on the show soon.
Yeah.
Jared, hi. Grief looks ugly. Anger, blaming, bargaining, sadness, but you all are giving us a necessary space to process it out. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and kind of to piggyback off that, like for you guys that are not at the event and want a space to be here to talk about it, to process, to understand, that is also why I'm talking about the event needs to continue on.
It was heavy. It was wild. It was very. Only one other time in my life I filmed somewhere where some people, there was death and mayhem, and it came out of the blue like this. But we were truly all there to celebrate. And this is something like, it's interesting. This is something that you can't really understand if you're not like deep in the scene. But Lazar was like the man.
I tried to flesh this out. Mark Fuentes, Souza, no way they should continue. Got to cancel. I tried to flesh this out with Bryson earlier. Bryson and JR were talking. They're like, oh, they got to continue. They need to. And I'm like, well, why do they need to? Because I just wanted them to give me a logical reason. Not
Bryson
that I
and who? And JR?
JR. Not that I disagreed. I was just like, you have to give me a logical reason of why they need to.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't do it. And then what was the consensus like a handful of minutes ago?
It was what Souza said.
So outside of even just the fact that the community should be together in the space to process this, but also too, there has to have a closure with the community, and then we have to change the temperature of the room a little bit. And I know that that's really fucking hard to say because of how tragic this is, but you guys, you cannot end it on this note.
And also, what is not continuing with the games? How does that fix anything?
It doesn't.
Right. I think that was.
But there's a chance to fix it if you do continue in terms of people processing and being around each other.
The best argument to continue is that by not continuing does nothing. By not continuing does not improve the situation at all. So you're looking.
We all walk away from an event that
feeling the same exact way.
Yeah,
like
that there was a tragic. Yeah.
It's a burden. It's a burden on all of us right now because it's just everybody feels so bad about what happened and helpless. And like, we're sitting here toiling. This should have happened and this should have happened. And the ability to process that together as a group and as a community, I think is very important.
Can you play that?
This is the
PJ Birds.
Okay. Yeah. PJ. I don't know. Where's that one? Oh, here.
The yellow one. Yeah. All the colored ones play. I love colored things. In his interview with Dave Castro, Lazar talked about his first event curse and his swinging prowess. Just trippy. He was an amazing and soaring person. Thank you for being here. So many questions, but we're all human. Tell someone you love them.
Good comment.
That's a great comment. Small team, big family. Thanks for doing this. It's giving us processing and community to work through our feelings.
People die every minute. The games must continue is this next person's comment. I mean, I'm not saying that that's super relevant that people die every minute.
It's who he was, man.
Right. Yeah.
It's rocking all the athletes. I mean, he knew Lazar was the dude who talked to all the athletes. Like he could talk to Fraser Tia or Daisy McDonald. It didn't fucking matter.
The other thing too,
He
I'd
was the
say,
guy.
is oftentimes the CrossFit community has been referred to as a family, and I always thought that was a little cheesy. But after being on site today, and when people realized the gravity of the situation, how everybody just came to a dead stop and was just there and didn't know what to do, but was wanting to cooperate and just be there to help in any way they could, and just the utter shock of what had happened really kind of showcased that it truly is that way.
Go ahead, Bryson. What are you
I
saying?
was just gonna say there was a comment that said if it was my brother and everyone kept competing, I would be so grossed out. But to me, I feel like it would be the opposite. And it can be it's personal
It's
to
different.
everyone.
Yeah, it's different. And I wonder too, what do you guys think? Do you think that they're going to have this open discussion with athletes and ask them what they want to do?
The athletes got a letter
I would imagine they talked to Luka first.
saying that there will be a the athletes got a letter. Okay, let me see. Hello, athletes. We'll be holding a conversation to discuss our path forward for all athletes and coaches on the competition floor at Dickies Arena at 4 p.m. Your attendance is optional, but would be greatly appreciated.
Like this is
If you're unable to return to the arena, any information covering the discussion will be sent out via email as soon as possible. After, please park in the yellow lot this evening when returning to the venue, as valet is not available.
Mark Fuentes again. How would Luka feel if they just continued the competition? I get why you feel that way. When my dad died, I dropped out of high school. Fucking became 10x worse drug addict. Threw my life away. That fixed everything. Not like
Right.
the whole
Right.
fucking
Right.
point is like it's not. What do you mean? How would they feel? It doesn't matter what they fucking do. When you're in Luka's shoes, it does not fucking matter what anyone says. He's gonna be so fucked up.
I mean, I would personally drop out, but I would probably beg them to continue.
He was not even gonna fucking care.
No.
He doesn't fucking care about the
No.
games, Mark.
Yeah.
true.
Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
His brother's dead. He's not thinking about Dave. He's not thinking about you. He's not thinking about the other athletes at all. So it just does nothing to not go forward. It does absolutely nothing. And it does nothing to just sit in a fucking cesspool of your own shit and fucking be fucked up over it either.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what he's going to do. I'm not saying that's what I'm not saying that's what he's going to do, but I'm not saying that. And if he does do that, he's got every fucking right to. I did it.
Yeah.
By finishing the weekend, everyone has closure, and you honor Lazar's life. Stopping now does nothing for no one. That's some really powerful shit you said, Taylor.
It is.
Selfishly speaking, I think there's probably 300 people there who probably think that they could have done something. And they're, like Taylor was saying at the beginning, they're trapped in their own head. They're just thinking of their world. But just imagine, if you can, for 1 second, you probably start crying. But just imagine if you were Luka
Or his wife.
and your brother just passed away, you wouldn't give a fuck about anything.
Maybe there is that point where there's like obscene amounts of rage and anger, and you're looking for something to blame, and I get that too. But again, that's just part of fucking someone dying. It's not that someone is to blame, and I'm not saying someone's not to blame, but I'm saying whether someone is or isn't, you're looking to fucking blame somebody.
Right.
Well,
He might not even be there yet. He might be just like burn.
I don't
the
think
world.
he's not.
He's probably at burn the world down.
It's not. I don't think he's there yet. I think where he is I can't. It's almost impossible to comprehend when that happens that you're never going to see that person again.
Right.
Yeah. It's so hard to process.
The games must be canceled. Palawi, how are athletes, teammates, his brothers supposed to compete after this? I don't even want to watch the rest of the weekend.
And that's okay. That's your choice.
But the thing is,
And it's their choice to not compete too.
it's an opportunity for the group to heal. That's why you're saying that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but this is a huge opportunity. By the way, can you go back and click through all the ones that we missed?
Sorry.
That's okay.
If
all
you
of
just,
all
This
the
is the only
starred?
paid one. we
yeah,
did
if you just
do.
go to the start, it'll.
I'm on Starred right now.
Okay,
there you
let's
go.
get to.
There you go.
I heard someone say crown Lazar champ and give Lazar's family the winnings. If we could ask Lazar if he would want the games to continue, I would guess and say his answer would be yes.
I want to say that, but also I feel like that's a dumb thing to say because we have
Yeah.
no fucking idea. And he's dead, and I don't want to put a fucking word in his mouth.
Nobody from CrossFit noticed. He was absent for. Can you pull that up for at least 19 minutes after? Who's the top one? Nobody from CrossFit noticed he was absent for at least 19 minutes after the last female athlete crossed the line. That's not true.
Hey, look at Corey Leonard's comment.
Now, could you possibly think?
Hey, GY.
That's not true, dude. You're making shit up. That's not true at all.
GY Fitness. I was literally.
Yeah, we were right there on the
fucking
ramp.
There.
Yeah, that's
dude.
not even fucking true.
Literally right there. I couldn't have been any closer to the situation unfolding.
Yeah, look, Dale Earnhardt died on the fucking racetrack, for fuck's sake. They never stopped the race. I'm not saying.
Holy shit, is that true?
Yeah, well, I mean, they kept racing. They pulled his fucking car off. I mean.
Wow.
Another comment is someone said, "Oh, Hiller thinks they should cancel too." Hey, half the time Hiller's a fucking retard, and I love him. But that's not a logical reason. That's not a logical reason to cancel the games. Hey,
Hiller said it.
Yeah.
Plus, count me in.
Just remember, there's a difference from what's going on at home. Oh, can you pull that back up so I can read it? There's something going on here that's different than if you just watch this at home. Appreciate you guys. I've been working and just seen the news. So sad. Can someone describe the experience of being there? It was just being around. The only thing I really want to say is that we were very close, shoulder to shoulder with Lazar's fiance, and I couldn't keep my shit together.
Yeah, I can't even think about that.
It was so intense because she knew before everyone, because she had been tracking them and whatever she felt, and so she knew, and I don't want to. And so it just became a frantic, like, I just remember me and Luca just running up and start looking for Lazar. And then, there were a few like, there he is. Nope, there he's not. Nope, there he is.
Yeah, there was quite a few opposite.
Oh, he came in. And then it was, but I will say this without getting into details. Dave did not take any of those comments seriously. He powered forward until he needed to see Lazar for himself in front of him.
Yeah, the second the news got to him,
Dave
100% of his focus and the team's focus went to that.
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah. So, and you could tell. I don't know if you guys saw the press conference, but they did a press conference, and I've never seen Dave look.
Dave looked like fucking haggard, dude.
Yeah.
His fucking hair was everywhere.
You
could just tell he was like fucking.
He
would have been the person fielding questions. I didn't want to hear a fucking word out of Don's mouth. No offense. I just wanted to hear what Don said.
And
Dave said. Dave's our leader.
And Dave went out on a paddleboard and started looking.
Dave did.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
When Kara was carted off the field, it was a scary moment. That wasn't Dave's fault. This isn't either. Something horrible and unexpected must have happened. I suspect you're very right, Joel. I think something.
Thank you, Joel. That's a good comment.
Unexpected did happen.
Right. You can push yourself. It's like, hey, in the heat doing Murph, you're making the decision to do that to yourself. Dave didn't say, hey, run yourself so hard that you get a fucking heat stroke. He's not telling an athlete to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're making the decision. I'm not, again, it just is, the natural thing is to want to blame everyone else, to blame someone, to find someone to fucking lop their
I guarantee you there's a lot of people at CrossFit who couldn't have done anything about it who are blaming themselves.
Yeah. I bet there's a lot of people at CrossFit blaming people who had nothing to fucking do with it too.
Like, give me an example. What do you mean?
I don't want to give an example, but I bet there's just some fucked shit going on.
Yeah, Jared with a good comment. Honestly, Dave is the guy I want around in situations like this. He's built for tough moments.
Yes.
You know what? Watching it firsthand, you're absolutely right, because he immediately went over to the fiance and his tone changed to very like sympathetic, like, hey, we're on it. We're doing this. Just stay relaxed right now. And then I physically watched him turn to his teammate and ramp up and say, we need a fucking head count. We need this. I need it in front of me right now.
Yeah, he started putting out orders right away.
And so his ability to switch and be sympathetic to what was needed with the person in front of him at the time he was able to do that very quickly in real time.
What going forward, how do swim events look at the games? More safety measures, no open water swims.
I don't think they should change the programming. I don't think they should adjust programming at all. It would be like saying, hey, a guy died driving a race car. We're never going to race a car again.
Maybe up the lifeguards.
Right.
If for nothing else, just to make the swimmers feel safe.
But they shouldn't change the programming. They should not do anything different.
I agree.
Well, what they could do is, based on the information that comes out much later on, if there were complications, they could take that into consideration ahead of time if they are known.
Hey, could you guys
specific to the athlete before they're competing?
Correct.
Yeah,
Could you guys make sure, like, if you have $100, everyone should just donate $100 to Lazar Dukic's support fund. It's so easy. You just go there, hit Apple Pay. What?
Refresh it.
Regardless of what happens, I vote. We all get together. Those who are here, high five and talk about how badass Lazar was. Fair enough.
Yep.
And I do. Someone said you should tell your family you love them. You should definitely do that. Any more? Were there any more? I don't want to miss anyone who paid.
Yeah, we got.
Bryson's gonna do it.
Okay. So we don't know. Just to update anyone who's coming in late, we don't know. All we were told. Actually, I don't know if the media has been told.
No one's
anything.
told. Lazar Dukic died. He passed away in the first event.
Yeah, but has that been announced anywhere?
I don't think so.
I don't think they could say it from the entity until the investigation has been done, and they could affirmatively say this is what happened. And
I can say it. I
Here's,
fucking watched it happen on the live stream.
no, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about any like CrossFit,
Right.
the entity. Like when Don went on there,
Legally.
and people were saying, "Say his name and say his name and say his name." Look, he's not doing that to protect anything except for following the process of what is most likely a legal constraint right now because it's
Right.
gone to an investigation. So to think that it's anything more than that.
By the way,
That's
Fide
crazy.
gave $15,000.
Fide did, yeah. Fide
Yeah.
gave $15,000 for this.
That's really
Bill
cool.
Cosby.
Thank you, Aaron and Emily. That's really fucking cool. I think he was a Fide athlete too. Let me see. Here's an email for the media. CrossFit is deeply saddened by the death of CrossFit Games competitor during the swimming portion of individual event 1 of the 2024 CrossFit Games. We are fully cooperating with authorities and doing everything we can to support the family at this time. The remainder of today's events have been suspended. The well-being of competitors is our first priority, and we are heartbroken by this tragic event. So that's one piece of that as media. I think that's all we know.
I want the hardest fucking benchmark workout in the world to be fucking named after Lazar. I'm not even kidding. I want a fucking crazy workout called Lazar. And we should do it every fucking year at the games.
We got the I guess we got this. I guess media got this earlier today. I'm just looking at my emails now. The remainder of today's events, Thursday, August 8th in Fort Worth, Texas, have been canceled. There will be a press conference at 11:30 a.m. with the press who are on site at the Marine Creek Lake Park. By the way, thank you to Rebecca Fuselier for staying there.
Some fucking asshole commented, I think we need to get a therapist on the spot to help these guys fucking.
We do.
Yeah.
We have each other.
Hey, your
other.
mom's coming over. We're gonna get therapy, dude. Some wonderful therapy, Zach Lewis.
Yeah.
Fucking douche.
Zach, keep the car running. We'll push her out the front door when we're done. The media stage, and we'll Venmo you. The media staging area is at the Marine Creek boat ramp. Okay, so you guys can see that. You guys can watch that if you want.
Known and Unknowable has a link to the medical report.
Of course, Halpin does.
Is that true? Do you?
Tyler's got him blocked. I blocked him too. Hey, if he comments, we should just fucking put him in timeout. That's my. Hold on, I got to lower these all. I raised them all because.
What's the Instagram account?
Known and knowable.
Known with an underscore.
I think it's known and then eggplant emoji knowable.
I don't see anything.
I'm serious. We need the coolest named workout for him.
They said it's on his stories.
There's so many news reports. Everyone's covering this. CBS, NBC, Forbes, Bloomberg.
That's a I don't know what this person FF Dutch. I don't know what kind of expertise he has, but he was saying if it was a cardiac event, it's highly unlikely they would have been able to save him, even if they had got to him in the water.
Really? Is that true?
I just don't know how true that is. Look,
I don't want to believe that.
No, I don't believe it because Andy fucking died on the side of a highway and they flew him in a fucking helicopter to a hospital and saved his life.
Yeah.
Imagine how long that fucking took.
Well, I guess it is official. The medical examiner did report him as dead. I'm guessing his parents are in Serbia. I guess they have to fly out now. How do you do that?
Discipline equal freedoms. Colton continued after his mom just passed.
I think Souza started to say this earlier, but there's no right or wrong way to feel. Some people are not going to want to compete. Some people aren't going to watch, and those people can do both those things. Some people are going to want to compete and to want to watch and end on a,
it's going to be very powerful if the event continues.
It has to continue, dude.
It is going to be very, very
and
powerful.
there will be athletes who don't compete, and that's fine. That's not wrong.
If it continues, I guess I don't know if this is a concern. I guess this is just my logistical brain trying to work through, like, well, how do they make it work? What do they do with the 2 events that they canceled? They have to find a way to fit them in.
No, those are done.
You just scrap it and you just say if there was 15 events.
What were the events?
Hammer swing and Amanda 45.
Oh yeah, they got to fit those in.
They do. They 100% have to.
Okay. Well, anything else, Bryson?
Hey,
you know what makes this so much more complex too? Not only his popularity with all the athletes and all the media and all the CrossFit people, but because his brother, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really being a competitor, and for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming everyone who's watching this is the elite of the elite. This is a very small, tight crew that started from 300,000 people, and these are the 40 guys, and they know it. Everyone knows it. They all have a crazy respect for each other. Billy Bob, CrossFit never reached out to Fort Worth Fire Department for our dive team either. We are only at the Dickies Arena for the EMS standby. So sad. Meaning there wasn't a dive team on hand.
Like prior to the
by the way, take all of these comments with a grain of salt, guys.
Yeah, it's not that.
By the way, I'm not saying that guy's not telling the truth, but we don't know. This is just a fucking.
It's not about feel. Okay, I fully understand completing the games, but how does someone feel good about coming in first, or how do we celebrate their win? It's not about celebrating their win or celebrating them coming in first. It's about again. The whole kind of premise of life is living your life. What is the point of just existing and going through the motions and working for the fucking man and not having pain and not having great moments of excitement and success?
And great moments of sadness.
Great moments, massive moments of sadness. But just to push all of that off is not life. To push all of that off is not living. And to me, it just doesn't make sense to not continue. And it's not about winning. It's not even about the games. It's you honor life by living life. You do not honor life by not living your life. That's a fucking literal waste
1 million
of life.
Another well said. You've had 2 fucking really Grand Slams, Taylor.
Zero chance.
You're good with this tragedy shit.
They should have given me a fucking media credential.
You're good. You're good with this tragedy shit.
Dude?
Jeez, 92K.
Hey, let me ask you this. Good job, guys. $100. That's it. Let me ask you this. Can the athlete? I'm going in the mind of an athlete. Let's just pick athlete B competing at the CrossFit Games, right? High level, right? And this happens, and then you go to the meeting tonight and you're torn between, like, I think that the most selfless thing the athletes can do is to compete. I think in their head, they might think that they're being selfish if they do it.
I know that they're thinking they're selfish, but here's the thing. It's not. I've
I
transcended
don't think
that. Right.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like I've transcended that
Yeah.
thought of like, ooh, it's selfish. It's not selfish of you one fucking bit to say that everything that you've worked for in your life comes to this moment.
Yep.
It needs to continue, not for you as an individual and not for Lazar, so to speak, but it's just, again, I think the most.
Well, it gives to the group, the people in the audience. That's what I was thinking. For the first time in your life as an athlete, you don't have to be a selfish fuck. It's the exact opposite. You can go out there tomorrow and you can fucking compete. And there's going to be a lot of people in the stands fucking crying. And you guys are going to be crying at the finish line. But you can hang it all out there and let us process this shit together.
Right.
Yeah. We'll put pictures of Lazar up on the monitor.
Yep.
And we'll all fucking come unhinged. But do your part and let us fucking rally around you. To heal.
Yeah.
Right. Don't be a selfish fucking so you want to go home and cry in your own fucking bed.
Jared had another great
But I'm
comment
concerned
up
that they're
there.
going to think that they're being selfish if they
I-
do it.
I-
I'm worried that they care what other people think.
I
Now's
get-
not the time to care what other people
And I
think.
get why you would feel selfish, but it's not selfish for you to think that way. And
Right,
again,
right,
it's
Right.
put yourself in his shoes. And I'm not saying he would say this, but someone who has a fucking wife and a brother and a family is gone and they're never going to see them again. And you just don't celebrate the meaning of being here by going and being alone and fucking eating your feelings in your fucking hotel room and canceling everything. Cancel it. I don't feel good. I'm getting fucking high.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just not.
Jared said if athletes don't want to compete, that's their choice, no judgment. But
Right.
if others do, what a better way to process it, process that grieving than from hard physical exertion.
100%.
That's a form of therapy for sure, and one that all of us as CrossFitters utilize as a tool every single day. So to not utilize that right now in community right now when we have those two of the best ever,
comments.
I think would not be the best
Isaacson.
decision.
I agree with you. And then we'll go back to that soldiers one. Okay. Samantha Isaacson. Go ahead, Taylor.
Actually, it is selfish to think of your wants over what his family and partner desires.
Dude, they do not care
you just,
right now.
You just
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you're
hey,
missing
Samantha,
it.
You so don't fucking get it. You don't get it.
And I would like to say you don't get it, and that's okay because
It's
most
okay,
likely
but
you've
shut
been
the fuck up.
but you probably never really experienced something like that closely. Because if you have, your perspective on something like this is
So different.
very different.
Oh, my dad died. Everybody in my high school. School year's over, guys. School year's over. You guys can't go on. You can't go on.
Right.
You can't go back to school.
Also,
Well,
I
you
remember
don't
the
even
day-
care. The thing is that you explained earlier, like Luka doesn't care.
Listen,
like
this
the
is-
worst possible thing in the world
Yep.
that could possibly happen to Luka just happened to him.
Worst
Couldn't
thing.
have been worse.
Worst
Like
thing.
he doesn't care about any of this other
No.
shit.
I
No,
remember-
He doesn't
I remember
care.
being told
he doesn't have any desires except to get his brother back.
Right. No one cares about that. I remember getting pulled out of my classroom and the vice principal saying, "Hey, you got to come to the office." I'm thinking, "Fuck, what did I do this time?" I was walking down the office. He was in front of me. I was like, "Hey, can you at least tell me what I did?" And I'm thinking in my mind, I got to formulate a lie.
You're already like thinking the 10 last bad
I was
things
like,
you did and how you
Whatever
get
he
out of
said
them.
I did, I got to start figuring out my story now. And I walked into the office. I saw my grandma there crying, and I fucking lost it. And I looked down in the hallway. The bell rings. People are walking by, see me crying, and all I'm thinking is, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And nothing else mattered. And it's like fucking weeks of just.
Nothing matters.
And no
No-
one's going to come to you, Taylor, and be like, hey, should we go to class? We want to get your approval for this first. You would have been
Right.
like, get the fuck out of my face,
It
Yeah.
so
dude.
just doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mel. I'm a loser. Say it to my face. I'll fuck you up.
Speaking from soldiers' perspective, all people involved should be equally trained and qualified. Rehearsal must be done in the event of emergencies. Yeah, I mean they rehearse like crazy.
And, yeah,
they
how do you know
rehearse
they
they rehearse so much there.
What I just don't get this, Mark. Pull his comment up. I don't get people need a minute. Hey, they canceled the events for the day, dude. What? It's not like they're not giving a minute. And it's also everyone that's saying if you don't want to watch, don't fucking watch. People need a minute.
Or if you don't want to
bro.
participate, hey, listen, how about we just don't stream it? Because I know everyone here at the venue, definitely everyone who was there this morning would love closure.
Mark,
Would love to get into the arena with everyone who is there. And I don't care. You could run it like a fucking prayer service, do whatever you fucking want. But I guarantee you that everyone who is there would appreciate some group closure to this.
Hey, Mark, go get high in your own room. Fucking order a extra large pizza. I mean, this is what I did. I bought a fucking eighth of weed. So buy an eighth, smoke it all in one sitting, eat a fucking supreme pizza from Pizza Hut, be a fat fuck, turn your TV off. You don't have to pretend like any of this is happening. The world just ended for you. What is that doing? People need a minute. Hey, they canceled all the events today.
And if the games go
They're taking
on,
a fucking minute, and they're also meeting with all the athletes and having a conversation with them. It's honestly people in the comments saying, "Ooh, what you guys want doesn't matter." Hey, what you fucking want doesn't matter. Right? Shut the fuck up.
hey, if the games go on, then something horrible happened to Lazar doing something that he dedicated his life to and loved. If they get canceled, then it was just like a random run swim.
Right. He just died for, I'm not saying that we should honor the game. I'm not saying that
Well
we should
said,
call
Bryson.
the games of this thing that, this is like, we need to honor Lazar's life by, he died for the games. We need to.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
You know what I just didn't think of?
What?
Fucking Rich has his Leadville race. He's probably fucking gutted.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit! And Facundo is probably gutted.
Horribly.
Facundo and Rich are probably a mess. Jay Wade, $5. No good choice for CrossFit. I agree. It'll be divided and as emotional as voting blue or red. In my opinion, they finished the games to honor him. It's not easy, but honorable. Jay Wade, I think we were driving back, and Sousa was like, "They're fucked if they do, and they're fucked if they don't."
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You
Yeah,
had a
you're right.
decision where
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, people are gonna hate you regardless of the choice you make.
Did you take Lazar off the Heat 1 app?
Oh my God. Jesus. I love Gabby. Hey, Gabby, thanks for calling me a baby brat. You sound like that fucking girl at a party where a guy walks up to you and is like, hey, can I go to the bathroom? You respond, oh, I have a boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
Hey, half these cucks that
Wow.
say any of that shit to you are the first ones when you see them in person that go, "Oh, Taylor, oh my gosh."
Yeah,
I
they're
love
like,
what
no.
are."
You say, hey,
especially
hey, you're the
Wait.
one who called me a baby brat. They're like, ooh.
No,
Sorry.
they don't
Ooh.
even do that, dude. They're just fucking keyboard warriors.
Hey, Abby, shut the fuck up.
Well, don't acknowledge these.
Sorry.
guys. Yeah.
This is my MO, by the way. If you're watching this show for the first time, people talk shit about me in the comments, and all I do is freak out and have an emotional conniption about it. So
This is a great comment. And boy, if you just mentioned water to Lazar, he lit up like he knew he was the shit.
Yeah.
I play water polo. Lazar was the best swimmer in that lake. Serbian water polo players are some of the best. Maybe hard issue. The game must go on. Yeah, I'm. People are going to hate me for this, but I'm completely on board with you. Something happened to his ticker.
I think if any people should decide like that comment, I think it's the athletes and the game's decision. Like it's their. I don't know. Also,
How did he do that arrow like that?
That's
just the logo.
The logo behind it.
Corey Polito sending nothing but love and donating now. Thanks, Corey. You're the best.
You thought he sent you some obscene amount of money to do
We
that?
are canceling Kill Taylor this week.
Are we?
I don't know.
I don't
I just
know
made
either.
that.
Almost at 100K.
Good job, guys. We're almost at 100. The decision to continue is up to the insurers plus legal. No shit. Wow. Bernard Jordan. Sometimes I agree with Taylor. Sometimes I don't. This is a time when he is fucking spot on. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. And also thanks for disagreeing with me and getting me fired up. I love that too.
You've had 3 really good lectures. That
Only
should be,
3.
I mean, on this show.
Should be
you've had-
clipped?
You should, yeah, they should be clipped. I mean, it's fucking gospel shit. You should be a preacher.
At the risk of Taylor. Pull Mark's comment up. I got to read this.
11B Garage. Take the time to remember, not blame.
Right. That's good. That's good perspective. You can read that, Sev. I don't want to read this guy's shit.
Mark Fuentes, at the risk of Taylor telling me to shut the fuck up, the game should be canceled if any less than 50% of the athletes choose to continue.
Oh, it's not a bad take. If 50% of the field's like we're out, what do you do?
Just like Yella, I would go back and just to see Yella and Tia go at it against each other.
She would obliterate him.
I know,
She would
that's what's
murder him.
crazy. Yeah, they got to go on. And you know what? I want to go home so bad. I would call if we get an email saying it's over, I'm going to call my wife and get a fucking jet right out of this fucking place. But it's got to go on. Jay Hans, if I died in a competition, I'd want to be honored by the competition to continuing and everyone using the pain to perform better.
Holy shit, there's an ESPN article.
I just love this community. Josh Lehrman. What's up, Josh? Dude, type in CrossFit. It's in every major news outlet's grabbed it.
Shit. Yeah, well, I mean, look, they don't. I mean, fuck, guys.
Look, another person who agrees with you. This is 2. Write that down, Tyler.
The
2
dark-
people.
the
two
dark
people-
lord.
crazy.
2
This is
people agree with
crazy.
you.
The Dark Lord agrees with Taylor.
Let me read that one.
Got it.
Thank you, Bryson. Agree with Taylor, but also if over half the gaming field is not there, it might not make sense as well. Hey, what if Luca competed?
Has anyone talked about?
Jeez.
This is crazy. Has
Wow.
anyone talked about? Scroll up. There was a comment that really piqued my interest. It said, "Has anyone scroll up?
I
Let me
am
see.
scrolling. Dude.
Has
It's-
any?
that's
Oh
the
yeah,
other
yeah, right,
computer.
right. Sorry. Has anyone talked
got it.
about? Has
Dude.
anyone talked about TTT video and the lake being haunted? What do you mean? Yes, Tyler.
The lake being haunted.
Yeah.
They did a video on the lake, and they talked about it being haunted, but they also talked about athletes overheating due to being in hot water and not being able to cycle off heat and having a stroke.
That was the hardest part. When me and Jason tested the workout, the hardest part by far is me. I'm at 3.5 miles thinking, oh, I'm about to hit the water. This is going to feel good. Hot tub.
Hey, but the thing
That's rough.
when did they make that video? Oh, here.
They posted it last night.
Oh, so he doesn't mean haunted. Okay.
He means
how people
haunted.
die in that lake, in that specific lake?
Because maybe it's so warm or something.
That's crazy.
I
Hey,
don't think I would love. Let's see that. Let's look. So will you Google that
Let's-
really quick? Mean Creek Lake. Here's the thing.
Marine Creek Lake deaths.
Our body temperature is what, 98.6.
Yeah.
That lake wasn't even close to that. That
This
lake
is-
wasn't. That lake was like 78.6 at the highest. Right. I mean, I don't know what the temp was, but I heard it was not like warm like that.
Caroline, thanks for the honest non-PC reflection. Love y'all. Rip Lazar. Yeah. Here, first off, the last thing you're going to get from this group is political correctness. I think also
Caroline's my online therapist.
no one is sitting here saying at the same time, I'm not saying I'm fucking right. I could be dead wrong on all this. I think the point that the reason you guys hopefully watch this show is because we are people who can get out and say what we think and feel. And if we're wrong, okay, sorry, we're fucking wrong.
I'm wrong more often than not.
Right. But
Not
we're
me.
not but we're
Not
not
me.
afraid to have a conversation just because we might be wrong. That's everything that's wrong with, fuck our country for one, but the world is being afraid to talk just because you might be wrong. Like it's okay to be wrong. Everything I
Wow.
fucking could have said could have been wrong.
1,800 people have donated. When we started the show, it was less than 100. It
Let's-
was like 66.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
go.
there we go. We just crossed it.
Holy shit, guys! That's
There we go.
sick.
It's 100.
I might have another sparkling water. Holy shit, that's crazy.
And hey, we're all talking about what we could have done, what we should have done, like all this other stuff. But at least with this support and the fund, that is one thing that all of us can do. And that does make an impact directly to the Dukic family. So please take the time if you haven't already. Lovely boys, thank you all for having this discussion for the community. Your hearts are in the right place. Thanks, Anthony. And I hope everybody does appreciate that, as we all have different opinions, and it is really like an emotional thing to talk about, that you do. Hopefully you guys do know and understand that we care a lot about Lazar. We care a lot about his family, the situation, and everything else very deeply.
Man, he loved his fucking girlfriend so much. He always talked about
Oh
her.
my God. I got to make the show a little lighthearted. My wife just sent me a meme of a fucking pogo stick toilet plunger. Can that be seen? I can't see it on the screen.
You
dude.
can. You got to put your hand behind it so it covers it and focus the whole thing. If they have us in the background. No. Your hand behind your phone.
It's probably not on autofocus.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
You
wow.
got it.
Oh,
Yep.
oh wow. Pogo stick. Huh?
Holy shit. Yeah, we need one of those in my house.
You clog your toilet a lot?
He eats a lot of protein.
I actually, the other day, took a crap that was like, never mind.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Moose Figure,
Patrick
how do you
Clark.
take? Okay, you gonna tell us, or are you just gonna?
Patrick Clark's in the chat. Uh-oh.
Good to see you, Patrick. Rename the Spirit of the Games Award after Lazar Dukic.
Holy, the Lazar Dukic Award?
There you go.
Fucking please do that.
There you go.
Every fucking major sport has, like,
That would be awesome.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Until this moment, I never like appreciated those awards. I was like, yeah, whatever.
They're fucking dumb.
Yeah, they're
right.
dumb. But now that I was there for this, I was like, yeah.
Who's the athlete
Yeah.
from Boston College? The guy with the red bandana. He was a firefighter, died in 9/11, I believe.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They have an award in the NCAA for it.
Yep.
Fucking cool as shit. Like,
Yeah,
that's what this
yeah,
reminds
yeah.
me of. He's not a fucking firefighter, but you get it.
Okay, don't get crazy. The Lazar
Yeah, they're not going
Games.
to do that.
I'll
CrossFit's
probably-
got to make money, Vanessa.
Yeah.
That's an
Easy,
extremely
easy.
emotional.
I'm gonna sell my house tomorrow. Me and my
Like,
kids are gonna
don't-
live in the van.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell my house.
That's really far on the other end of the spectrum. There.
Wells Crowther. That's it. Wells Crowther.
All right. So that's what we know, or that's what we're
Excellent,
willing to say. It will be very interesting to how it rolls out. I want to say this about the chat. You guys have been great. Like 99% of you have been amazing. I didn't feel like that there was a blame game going on this show at all. I hope all the people at CrossFit can get a good night's sleep tonight. I hope the athletes, when they go to the meeting, they know that we don't think they're selfish if they go on, that we would actually appreciate it. There's a bunch of us out here who would appreciate it, even though I would, if you don't do it, I'll be more than happy to go home. But I think that I think it will be a very unique situation and missed opportunity if the athletes don't take the floor at Dickies to a sellout crowd and honor Lazar and let everyone blow off steam and let the tears roll. And I think it's I hope the athletes that are listening know that we support them and we'll be there, and we know it's fucking hard for you guys. And then of course, like I started this, the whole CrossFit team. I'm so sorry for you guys. That was brutally tough. I know you guys work your ass off. I know there's a lot of moving pieces. So heal up quickly. And then to Lazar's brother and fiance and to his parents, thanks for giving us the time that we did have with Lazar. Anything else?
I think this comment wraps it up.
100% love for both the ones who want to continue and those who don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. There's a chance we might go live again tonight as things get updated. Thanks for helping Bryson, Taylor, and Susan and myself process this. Chasing Waterwall, spotlight and CrossFit for heartbreaking reason. We have the opportunity to demonstrate the unity of CrossFit. Got to go on and honor Lazar.
That's a big comment. I like that.
Yeah.
Jeremy Dornbush. Emotions are high and everyone wants to point a finger. Opinions can be different, but this is where we can show how strong the community is by rallying together to show love to the Dukic family.
Agreed.
All right. Hey, great job. $110,000. It is, what time is it? Here at the
2:20.
It's 2:20 in Fort Worth, Texas. We'll probably go back on tonight as we hear word of what's going to happen tomorrow, and then maybe get a little more talk about what events are going to be tomorrow, if they're going to do it, or what's going to happen. All right. Thank you, guys.
Be good to each other out
Bryson, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you